He said that he was my soulmate, yet he discarded me 5 months ago. What should I do? You should start growing yourself and understand that that wasn't a soulmate. That was a manufactured part of him that was trying to be able to appear and act a certain way to be able to get you to do what he wanted you to do. Okay. Reactive abuse. Yeah. Reactive abuse oftentimes happens and people focus on the reaction. They don't focus on the action that caused the reaction to start off with. Why narcissists flirt? When I pull her up on it, she has light me and says, I am so insecure and always so shady on my phone. Is that a covert narcissist? A lot of times the narcissist is going to flip it back on you and try to make you, here's my train of thought. Try to make you like actually like justify what's going on of like, no, this isn't that, this didn't happen. I'm not doing this, that kind of thing. But it's just trying to get you confused so that you don't actually notice what they're doing. How do you make a narcissist recognize they're a liar? They always have excuse. Oh, I read that one. Sorry. How does a narcissist feel when they get played? Typically don't see a lot of people that play the narcissist. And even then, like you might have to work on your own healing in that aspect too. What should we message you? I mean, you can message me anything, but just break free on Instagram. Just shoot me the message, break free. Shoot me a DM, break free. Not on here. I won't see it on here because once the live is done, it like disappears. Like actually like DM me. Don't just comment on here. Otherwise I won't see it. Okay. My ex said his smear campaign was just him venting after I left. Yeah. I mean, he's always going to push it down to be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Right. Like it's always going to try to make it seem small so that he's justified to actually smear you. Things that are so good for up to 10 years in our relationship, it's coming up in 20 years. Is it possible to keep that facade up for so long? So like they were good up until 10 years and then it flipped and then 10 years has been like pretty awful. A lot of times with a covert narcissist, you're going to have it be longer than like an overt narcissist because they're molding, adjusting, and adapting to the situation to try to appear better in society. What do you do when you miss him so much you literally sweat and ache in the whole body? I really feel the addiction to him. And that makes me go back time after time. So I recently just did a video about this being addicted. It comes out next week on YouTube. But like the whole piece of like being addicted, you're going to go through withdrawals. People don't talk about this and like we don't focus on it as much because the first step is like we have to get you to make a decision of like you want to leave and then we'll try to help support you. But understand that like when you leave a narcissist and you're addicted, like you're talking about, like it's going to be the worst part ever. Just understand it's the same as any other addiction, like drugs, alcohol, like all this kind of stuff. You go through a period of withdrawal and then it starts getting better. But it takes a lot of consistency and a lot of work. We have to help you actually change the mindset. If you want me to help with that, like Instagram, you can shoot me a DM that says break free after the live, or you can go to rawmotivations.com and you can book a one-on-one. We got plenty open as we step into 2024. There's a lot of openings because a lot of people right now are like out of school. There's a lot of things going on. So we've got some openings even this week. Withdrawals, yeah, you're gonna have withdrawals from a toxic person. Oftentimes, this is what brings you back like a drug, 100% like a drug. Mine just made me feel like I was the narcissist and I gave in to the crap behaviors and started being the most toxic I'd ever been. A lot of times this will happen. The reactive abuse starts to ramp up. Like that's something that we can help you with as well, because if you don't deal with the triggers, like it's going to continue to happen for you over and over and over. Try to go no contact, but he harassed me and I feel like I'd rather make myself unhappy than trigger him to do something bad. And I don't know what to do. So like you have to choose your heart. Like at the end of the day, like it's going to be hard for you to stay in the relationship. It's going to be hard for you to leave. What's going to be the hardest and what's going to be the best for you long-term? That's the decision you have to make. Otherwise you will stay stuck forever. What's with the extreme mood swings? They're cool 1 second, then mean the next. Have you ever heard narcissistic taking meds for these extreme mood swings? Yeah, but it doesn't really fix anything as far as narcissistic. It might fix some of the moods, but it's not really going to do much else. Why do they threaten suicide? That would alert me that it's probably more BPD, borderline, than it is narcissism. Narcissists typically aren't the ones threatening suicide. Borderline personality would do that more, like a toxic one, than it would be narcissistic. He was staring at me for a long, sorry, I lost it. I'm sick of the blame and criticism and him triangulating with our adult children. Is it best I just ignore him? I would say yes. Focus on developing a relationship with you first off, and then also with your kids. But then I would ignore him, because otherwise he's going to continue doing this, trying to trigger and like poke your buttons. Okay. Okay. Is there anything you should do? Say avoid doing. So with the mediation thing, like if you can't avoid it, go in knowing what you want. If you can, ask for more, so that when you back off to less, you actually get what you want. If you tell him this is what you want, this is what you won't get. And understand with mediation, he's typically going to slow roll it and try to slow it down as possible. Why is my narcissist husband put up with? Why is my narc's husband put up with her? Narc is a friend of mine from high school. That's a good question. I actually do not have a good response for that. Why is my narc's husband put up with her? I don't know why, but that one like confused me. My narcissist got a better job, so his new supply isn't a value to him. So he's calling me in private calls and doesn't speak. Is that hoovering? That could be a piece of it. Like, yeah, you might have to even like change your number. Are they usually introverts? No, not necessarily. Like you could have a covert that might be more of an introvert. Why do couples therapy not work? Because you're going into couples therapy and the therapist is trying to say, hey, here's two people who are trying to work to make it come together. Narcissist isn't. He doesn't really care. So he'll put on a facade and then come back to the house and still abuse you. Okay. Like you have to understand. Yeah. He doesn't want to go back because you rolled your eyes. Yeah. That's not a man. That's a coward. He's running away from therapy and he's using you as an excuse for him not to show up. That's it. How can you best help your teen deal with a narcissistic father when he tries to assert dominance and control? Are you together or separate? That'd be key. But either way, like you want to be able to provide a safe environment for her to express her emotions and feelings and find a safe place because she's not going to have that with him. He's expressed remorse, but how do I forgive? So I would say like remorse doesn't matter unless there's long-term change behavior. So like that's the biggest thing is like a narcissist will say they're sorry and then keep doing it, shows they're not sorry and it's just manipulation. Do narcissists self-harm? Typically not. Careful. I'm not saying it's not a blanket statement. Typically not. That would fall more under borderline. Borderline is typically the ones that are going to do more self. Like that's the thought process of a narcissist. How do I dodge Hoover attempts when he comes to pick up our kids? Third party. So have a place where you drop off the kids. Like I've had people that exchange their kids at the police station so they never have to interact with each other, or a nanny or a babysitter or something so that you don't have to have this direct interaction. That's important. Will therapy help my ex narcissist with the relationships with his teen kids? Not if he's not honest. Like if he's not honest, nothing's going to help him. You need to understand, like, how do you know they don't care? One, because I didn't care. Okay. And two, because a lot of the narcissists I talk to, they don't care. Okay. So like when I say they don't care, like I'm not just like BSing you. I'm just saying a narcissist doesn't care about you. The narcissist cares about him. Okay. That's what it is. How is your coaching? Has your coaching helped you get better since you're married? 100%. Like I find like in leading and in coaching other people to break them free, there's also liberating moments for me as I start learning things, as that things start opening. Ultimately, the biggest piece that's helped me has been therapy and has been working with Warrior. And that's how I actually lead guys. I actually have about 12 narcissists that I work with, helping them actually grow and change and develop. Some work, some fit, some continue the program, some completely flop out. But we have seen people actually develop and change, but we focus on showing them they're the liar. Okay. Narcissists and BPD relationships, really toxic because a lot of times they're going to feed each other, be like this, like ever evolving. I can't think of the right word. It'd be like a magnet, like it just spins kind of a thing. Ex-narcissist manipulated therapist. Yeah, 100%. I've never been totally discarded so completely before. How do you work through the chase instinct that was triggered because I have RSD from being ADHD? So the chase piece, like I want you to understand, like you wanting to chase and you want to go after that person, that's normal. Okay. It's normal because of everything you've been put through. The thing that we have to do is we have to start breaking down your mindset because otherwise you're believing a lie. You're believing a story that says you need this person or that you have to go after this person. There's a million different things. Everybody's story is completely different. So we help you work through that so you're not locked into that. So you're not tied to that.